All right, let's do this. The Undead Burg. This should be burned in my brain, because it's where the learning curve happens. It's where you end up when you're, all these slowly migrated over here. I guess I should put them over here. It's where the big struggle happens, because the Taurus Demon is the first proper boss fight that you have to beat by kind of actually understanding how to play the game on some level. Which, good luck with that. Creates a few problems. How I'm gonna make this all fit on one page is one issue. Alright. This will be interesting. So I'll try to draw a little smaller. But yeah, I talk about the learning curve, but that learning curve did happen in 2011, and it's now 2020, which... Wow, this game's been out for a bit, huh? Okay. It's the first shape that's always scary, because it kind of determines the scale of everything I'm going to be drawing, and also, like, the, how much I'm going to regret everything, because it's also, like, a starting place that... Huh. Alright, so let's start with a square that looks like this. Being a little... Just a little bit cautious with my shapes here as I try to make this into something that makes some sort of sense. This is like a staircase here. It might be facing the wrong way technically. And there's like a wall that splits halfway through here that blocks your ability to get through, unless, except for through here specifically. And around here there should be a staircase. Yeah, I think this is a decent way to start this out. Alright, so let's draw the bonfire. It's apparently what I landed on for how I draw bonfires in here. Alright, so there's some kind of like gangway around here that leads you to this like central area. There's, I think at least up here, there are a couple of evil shield dudes. And I think here, there's just a couple of like unhappy dudes that want to deal with you. And then we have, let's call him Rar. The cinematic dragon. He doesn't do anything, but he sure looks threatening for a second when you walk in. There's a whole under area down here. But most importantly, like there's like this underhang. Like this, you go down the staircase, there's a whole room down here, and then from said room, there's like an underhang here. And that's where we meet. Let's put this down. I guess we'll call him the Undead Merchant. Something like that. Oh. I think yeah, I think this is going to be a recurring thing where I kind of like spiral outward from a central bonfire location instead of where I start. Partly because maybe that's just like a sort of central location in the map, so I can kind of work from there. Like the... let's see, it's to Firelink. This is the aqueduct. I'll draw like a series of like woof, woof. That's what an aqueduct looks like. It has like those little under areas. I'm gonna go far enough down here. There's eventually a barred off area that has another merchant in it. We'll call her Poison Granny. And there's a doorway here to the depths / lower Undead Burg. So LUB / depths. It's technically the ending of lower Undead Burg that leads to the depths, is where that eventually is. But that's just the fact that you can keep walking through the aqueduct for a very long time. In here, let's see, there's like a side room, a central back area I always think you can climb through. And then these two things aren't connecting to each other correctly, but that's like there. I think there's a bridge halfway through here. This doesn't necessarily make any sense. I'm just trying to connect these locations to each other. I think this is all like an abyss here. And an abyss around here where you would fall. Something like that. But there is a doorway here. And there's a little doorway here. There might be an item in there or something. And of course this is the doorway. I did the wrong direction on the doorway again. That's the doorway that connects from the aqueduct to this like small area that has like, I want to say like 3 enemies in it. There's definitely some lines in that don't make sense. But yeah, you get from the Firelink Shrine aqueduct to the side door, which takes you to this small area with like a bridge or something and like 3 enemies. It's a really minor zone. And there's this hole over here where you're like, am I supposed to jump somewhere around here? There's like some scaffolding around here. Right here is a small little room that I think might have an item in it. I'll just draw an item generically to satisfy that thought. I'm definitely not getting all the items in this game. There's just so many of them. There's like a few enemies here. Then you take the staircase that goes to like the cinematic dragon location, rawr, and then these 2 enemies and these 2 irritating shield boys, because you're still trying to figure out how to fight shield dudes. And so you could die to get these guys, and that sends you all the way back to Firelink Shrine. But if you go up here on the left, you're like, oh, bonfire, now you're all set. But also all these enemies are going to respawn again, which sucks. But this is overlooked by this ledge here. And then there is a path going across through here. And on here on the ledge, there is a bowman. There might be like, I think there might be multiple bowmen there, but that's just the vague idea there. Let's see. This is so interesting to have to think this all through. Also, you might be wondering, why is this background so quiet? Why is it just me talking in a void? I figured if people wanted music, they could add music by playing music in the background, set to a lower volume or whatever they wanted to do. But if I add music, it's just like permanently stuck in there. I also didn't really have music prepped. I don't really listen to OC remixes radio and stuff, and that's like the only thing that a lot of people use for background music when they're streaming. And all of my music would be that I would listen to on purpose would be like very copyright and not safe for this. So that's where I'm going with that. Let's see. There's definitely some nonsense going on right here with lines that don't quite make sense, implying a separation that doesn't mean anything. But anyway, there's somewhere around here there's like a second floor and like a staircase that has to be kicked down. So I'll just try to imply that in here real quick. Add a little like diving pool rails up here. That'll be for later. Technically still... I was gonna say that's technically the... But it's not, is it? No. It's a 2 undead parish. This is probably going to be the hardest part of the entire game to draw, is the combination of Undead Burg and Undead Parish, which is just a very long area and very interconnected and complicated. But anyway, I drew this. So there's this, you get the bonfire, there's like a long path here, and then there's like a room like this, kind of. And that has a doorway. And I'm not going to label that for now, but it says 2 Undead Burg. Lower Undead Burg. I'm just afraid of what line space I might need up here because I'm running out. I've kind of made this too long already, which is not great. Let's see, these are doorways, but don't have doors, so I guess I'll just draw like semicircles. That also doesn't have a door. Listen, my doors are all over the place. That doesn't have a door either. But there's a lot going on right here that needs to be denoted. So this is this is a rooftop right here that has a ladder somewhere around here. And there's some shit going on here, because this is a firebomb assholes, or right here, I believe. I don't think they're archers, I think they're firebomb assholes. I think there's like 3 of them up here. There's like some scaffolding that I'm not going to include, because it's like going to be hard to draw. And then there's like, I want to say shield guy and 2 shitheads right here. So 2 normal shitheads, and then 1 shield guy, I think, are in here. He might be a 2-handed weapon guy. I think there's 3 enemies right here, and one of them's heavy in some way. And so you come in here and you have to dash through here because throwing firebombs at you. Pew, pew. This is how I denote explosions. This is the blast zone. You go through here. So you run from the fire bombs, and you're like, oh, fuck, I just ran directly into this room full of enemies. And so that probably causes some deaths. But then you get back through here, and then you get, I think there's a... I could be imagining this, but I think there's also like a sort of 3 enemies here. And how do we draw this? Let's do... That's probably how you draw a staircase. There's an archer or a crossbowman. I'm not going to separate those very well. But, you're dealing with these guys here. Fire bombers are up here. There's probably items here. Then you crawl all the way up to the top of the staircase because there's a guy shooting bolts or arrows at you throughout that, being a dick. And you want to deal with him, because if you don't deal with him, then we go to this next area, you're going to be in deep shit. So this, I think, is all kind of a cliff. And there's kind of like a staircase down towards this nodule that has... I think there's at least 2 shield guys here being problems. Yeah. I think there's like... There's a section here. And then a staircase here. Like I made these too close to each other. There's also a staircase like here. And these all need to be denoted separately from each other. So I'm pretty sure there's like a chest right here. So let's all draw a chest specifically instead of just like an item. Whereas like here, I think there's like some items up here. Item can be a vague term at times. So I'm better at remembering the top floor of a lot of these zones, whereas some of the lower areas are going to be tougher to remember. The under rooms. And also trying to remember, like, is this a cliff or is there actually like a whole building here? It's like this is a whole building. Like this right here is a house that has like a couple items inside of it or something. But I don't necessarily have like the highest resolution idea of what's inside of there. There's definitely something. But let's try to draw. So this is kind of floating out here for a second here, but I'll connect it. There's kind of a bent hallway here with an abyss fall at the end. And here we have a black knight that looks like Shovel Knight apparently, but that's a big deal. That's one of your first encounters with the Black Knight. And there's an item at the end. I think it's the blue or red tearstone ring. Black Knight. Tearstone ring question mark? We'll try to connect these two spots with each other. So this is here is going to here. So that's what I'm saying that staircase goes to, which I might be imagining, but I think I'm roughly correct on that. And here's where things are going to get interesting. Okay, so let's get creative. Circle. 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 Oh no. Archers, Taurus, higher, start, Havel. Yeah. Oh my god, I have to have like a system here. This is the fading into black. That's one way of denoting. That's the way that goes downward, I suppose. This doesn't make much sense. This is going to more or less be a disaster. But anyway, let's try to connect the spot. So I should have detailed this a little bit better. But anyway, for now, we'll just draw like, here's this purple thing. We're gonna follow that purple thing to here. So those two spots are connected. And this is what I mean, I should have detailed better. But yeah, Blarg, it's exploding boulder. Choo, choo, choo. I'm a bad guy. Crossing over with this area where we ran out of space to draw. Because yeah, that's one of the boulder traps where they knock somebody, they knock a flaming boulder down towards you, and I wanted to include that on some level. But that didn't go so hot at the moment. And I'm just gonna have to like up, down. That's one way of denoting that kind of shit. Let's get this back in frame, my bad. So this is the starting floor of this tower. And when you go down, then you end up connecting from here just denoting that these are attached spots. Because this is where Havel is. Which we're just going to draw as a guy behind a giant shield. And his weird club. That's basically gets the idea across. And this is 2 dark root basin. Sure. All right. This all makes sense, and we know what it all means, and I'm not crazy. This just comes up here. Because now it's coming from down to up on this side, so this one's then going from down to up on this side. I guess the longer chain, when it's like a solid square, that just means it connects to a different floor. But when it's like streams of darkness, that's like means it's showing that it comes from below. This room has one nasty little crystal. I guess crystal lizards would be green because they're an item-ish thing. He's got a little tail. He's got his shitty little crystal back. Then the whole area is just like full of like barrels. There might be more floors here than I remember. This is officially too complicated to draw, but here we are. So I'm just saying like this connects to that, which this connects to that. I'm gonna have to rotate this one though, because I need space for what comes next. So let's start by just trying to draw this situation. So that's the connecting area. Here's where the shitty archers are. First time drawing a demon in a while. We're gonna draw the Taurus Demon like right like this, and he's got like big twisty horns. Grar. Not twisty necessarily, but he has like these 2 giant horns. I mean, he's grimacy madman, because old bosses are unhappy inherently, obviously. I'll just try to draw a connection here, because it's like so the the doorway is here. But the ladders start here and end here. So it's just like a dotted, like those are connected to each other implication. And we'll just have some kind of implication of like crumbly trying to go up here. Like there's almost stairs, but you can't go up them. And there's the staircase coming from underneath. So you go, just connect them, even though that doesn't make any... Look, another color, another spooky color. There's so many colors lying around. Got so many extra colors. Lime green, I guess. Back in the jar, you gross color. So yeah, so you get in this tower, you go up one floor to get to the crystal lizard. There also might be an extra floor with an enemy on it. Like generic enemies. Actually, there might be 2 enemies on this floor. I'm trying to remember. Then you go up the next floor to get to the one that you go out to see the Taurus Demon on. And then above that, there's another ladder that goes to these shitty archers that are there to ruin your Taurus Demon boss fight. So you need to go up there and fight them yourself if you want to take them out before the Taurus Demon comes at you. Then behind the Taurus Demon is another place, because he actually starts on top of this particular building and jumps down when the fight starts. All these things are now laying on top of this thing now. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, I even remember the Black Knight. There's definitely there's a series of rooms you can open throughout this place that you can open with the key you can buy from this guy. And I have not really denoted where those are. There is yet more details that I have left out of this complicated ass map. But I remembered this much. It's an interesting exercise here. So this should say 2 undead perish. So we have 2 connections to Undead Perish here for different reasons. One connects to the beginning of the zone, one connects to a much later, not that much later part of the zone, it's just after the dragon. We have the connection to Lower Undead Burg in the depths. We have 2 Lower Undead Burg right here at this door. So we have two connections to Lower Undead Burg and 2 connections to the Undead Parish and 1 connection to Firelink, and that's just what I remember off the top of my head so far. And that's why these zones are complicated. My god.